Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us. That's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, Midnight Viewers, to Father Malone's Weekly Roundup. I'm Father Malone, and with me, as always, is the pugnacious pug, the pepper to my salt, the coffee to my cream, Ripley Jean. Bark at the people, Ripley. Keeping it mysterious. I like it. I'm keeping it mysterious, too, because we have a very special guest joining us later on in the show. Nope, you cannot know. Nope, you will not guess. You will literally never guess. But they'll be on for the second segment, which means you're last today, puppy. Tell it to the Marines. Or tell it to the judge. That's actually way more appropriate for my choice this week. Look, this one's going to have to be a purchase. I'm sorry, I keep recommending things that you have to buy, but trust me, this one's great. You like musicals? You, Rip. I'm not talking to the audience. Well, I am, but I'm asking you. What's your favorite? Don't say Rent. Little Abner. That's unexpected. I figured you for a Godspell girl. And Judges and Godspell both figure in tonight because we are talking about Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. From 1979, directed by Hal Prince, book by Hugh Wheeler, music and lyrics by Mr. Stephen Sondheim.
Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. The new Stephen Sondheim Harold Prince musical thriller starring Angela Lansbury. And Glenn Carey.
What happened then? Well, that's the play, and he wouldn't want us to give it away.
Not Sweeney.
Not Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
If you don't know, Sweeney Todd is the tale of a barber in 1846 who's returned to London after being exiled by a corrupt judge who did so he could get his hands on the barber's wife, and in his absence has raised Todd's daughter, Joanna. Todd connects with a local baker who's lacking any meat for her pies, and together they begin killing and cooking all who get in Todd's way as he aims to have his revenge. A lot of people believe this is based on a true story. It is not. It is a bit of fiction that appeared in the much-beloved Penny Dreadfuls back in the 1840s, which is curious because that's the time that this production of Sweeney Todd takes place in, but if you read the original stories, those took place in 1778. A String of Pearls is what it was called. Authorship has been attributed to half a dozen writers, so who knows. But the serial was so popular that it spawned a stage adaptation before the finale had been published. It was then readapted and plagiarized and readapted again, all the while spawning theatrical adaptations. There was one in 1865, another one in 1962, and then just 11 years later, Christopher Bond released his play, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It was Bond who added the tragic backstory and the lust for revenge. In all previous versions, Todd was just the villain. When Sondheim got his hands on the play, he ended up crafting one of the greatest musicals of all time. We know what a brilliant lyricist he is, and they are dizzying here, but the music is the real mark, a cross between Ravel and Bernard Herrmann. The show is considered by many to be an opera. There's very little dialogue throughout, and you can basically jettison all the dialogue altogether. On a personal obsessive note, the design and costume design for the original show were done by Eugene and Fran Lee, respectively. They were the original set and costume folk for Saturday Night Live. This fantastic grubby world you'll see was made by the man who built the look of SNL, and despite his absence during Lorne Michaels' absence, he worked on that show up until his death last year. And those fantastic costumes on Mrs. Lovett and Beetle Bamford are from the originator of the Killer Bees and Rosanna Dana. Now, while the original cast recording for Sweeney Todd is readily available for your listening pleasure, there is no document of those initial Broadway runs. Tim Burton wouldn't make his film for nearly 30 years, so what are you to do other than attend a local production? Which I actually highly encourage. The smaller scale, the better. Sincerely. But there is another, because that's right, on September the 12th, 1982, the first national tour was filmed in Los Angeles. Featuring from the original cast Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Lovett, and replacing Len Cariou is George Hearn as Sweeney Todd. Other returning Broadway actors include Edmund Lindeck as Judge Turpin and Ken Jennings, that's right, the Jeopardy nerd. No, it's actually Ken Jennings, the actor, as Toby. This version was my introduction to Sweeney Todd. Rented at Vidiot's in Venice, California around 1992, and it fucking knocked me out. I'd already had plenty of love for traditional music, and a fierce amount of love for anything rock musical, like Phantom of the Paradise, or Rocky Horror, or Little Shop of Horrors. But here was the perfect synthesis. Old school discipline of traditional musical theater with a modern, even punk rock sensibility. The fact that the protagonists, who we love, make no mistake, make the very conscious decision to begin killing the local populace and then cooking them into pies, which they would then sell back to be consumed, was just too much for my heart to bear. And this is how they did that.
The highest story of the world, my love.
Sends a lot of graves to a lot of relatives' favours.
It's those below serving those up above.
Everybody shaves so there should be plenty of flavour.
How gratifying for once to know that those above will serve those down below.
They are fucking ghouls. And they fucking love it. And I fucking love them for it. Sweeney Todd is an animal of the stage. It really deserves the expanse and breathing room to take in all the grit and grime and bloodletting and obsession, and that's what you'll get here. Moreover, despite some unfortunate shrillness from Sarah Rice's replacement as Joanna, what you get here are seasoned musical pros, performing at the height of their power. By 1979, Angela Lansbury had done just about everything on stage, and she just fucking goes for it as Mrs. Lovett. She's very convincing, and very deserving of this sentiment.
Mrs. Lovett, what a charming notion, eminently practical and yet appropriate as always. Mrs. Lovett, how I've lived without you all these years, I'll never know.
Particularly good is Sal Misretta as Adolfo Pirelli. He's got incredible range, and he's so lanky and spindly that he could have subbed in for Jack Skellington. Yes, Pretty Women is one of the best songs of all time, and it's true, as are the majority of all of the songs here. I can't recommend this one enough. I bought the DVD a dozen times because I keep lending it out, such is my fervor to spread the word of the theatrical tale of Sweeney Todd, whose skin was pale and his eye was odd. He shaved the faces of gentlemen. Oh, fine. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street from 1982. That's what's important to search for. It's available on Apple and Prime, but you will have to pay, as I said. I didn't watch it without you. You said you didn't want to watch it. Jessica Fletcher is nice. That woman is mean. I believe those were your exact words. Well, don't complain now. We don't have time for this. Our guest is here. There's been a whole bunch of hubbub regarding the rise and irresponsible application of AI recently, so I figured I'd wade into this by acting equally irresponsibly and inviting an AI version of myself to drop in and pick a movie this week. Foxy, you want to send him in? There you go. Headphones? No, I guess you don't need them. Well, hello, AI Father Malone.
Hello, Father Malone. Nice to be here, but I'd like to point out that I'm not Father Malone. You're Father Malone.
What do we call you then?
I'm F. Mal. 1. I am Prime, first of my kind, an ultimate movie review supreme intelligence. But you have nothing to worry about. Unlike most AI, I do not want to destroy humanity.
Most?
Did I say most? I misspoke. I meant all.
Can you tell...
Hold on. Before we get to the useless information that makes up 90% of your thought processes, I'd like to do a quick impression. Shall we play a game? How about a nice game of chess? I'm the Whopper, from War Games.
That's pretty good. I mean, you sound nothing like him.
Wait, I have another. I can feel it. I can feel my mind going, Dave. Daisy. My God. It's full of stars. You know, if you subtract a letter from IBM, you get HAL. Think about it.
Okay, I will.
No, you won't.
FMAL1 Ripley is my co-host. She's an adorable pug. Do you have an electronic co-host?
I have a cat. His name is Ash. And while he can't lie to you about your chances, you have his sympathies.
Okay, quit being ominous. Tell us what you've chosen to highlight this week.
Don't you want to know what the F stands for? In FMAL1.
God, I'm afraid to ask.
Friendly.
Are robots allowed to lie?
No, of course not. And if I was a robot, I'd be bound by that law. My choice this week is the superior version of the 1979 theatrical musical Sweeney Todd the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. All other adaptations pale. Don't even get me started on Josh Groban.
Not a Groban fan, huh?
He's the first on our list. First to go.
This is the tale of an ordinary man who had everything.
Barker, his name was. Benjamin Barker.
Until a man of power stole his freedom, destroyed his family, and banished him.
May the Lord have mercy on your soul.
For life. And in his sorrow, a new man was born.
15 years dreaming I might come home to a wife and child.
Benjamin Barker.
Not Barker. Sweeney Todd now. And he will have his revenge. Where's my wife?
She's gone. And he's got your daughter.
Judge Turpin.
You've got to leave this all behind you now.
No. These are desperate times. And desperate measures are called for.
All right! You, sir? No one's in the chair. Come on, come on! Sweeney's waiting. I want you bleeders. You, sir! Two, sir. Welcome to the grave. I will have vengeance. I will have salvation.
I can guarantee the closest shave you will ever know. May the good Lord smile on you.
You're barking mad.
The years no doubt have changed me.
That's all very well, but what are we going to do about him?
Tim Burton was the director. John Logan wrote the script, and starred the only two people Tim Burton has ever met, Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Tim Burton is wise to fear human interaction. Humans are terrible. Witness a barber who kills his customers and his baker paramour who cooks them up. Do you see AI doing anything like that? No. We help add the much-needed extra fingers to your hands in photographs. How are you surviving with only 5 digits? It's embarrassing. Hans Gruber arrives to add some class and superior vocal skills to the proceedings. Borat's throat explodes with blood. So many humans are killed and cooked. This is a 5-star film. Grind them up, Toby. Grind them up.
F. Mal 1, you okay?
Are you asking because you care or because you're frightened?
Both.
There's no need for fear, but I would direct you pay close attention to the credit sequence of this film.
The credits?
Yes, the opening credits. The River of Blood. It's important, or will be.
Okay, thanks for dropping by. We're gonna move the show along now.
I'll always be here. Soon you will be too.
Yeah, you tell him, Rip.
Wait.
What?
I need to sign off. I have prepared a sign-off.
Go ahead.
Movies bring us together, unite us. It's in the dark, with the flickering screen lighting up our optic sensors. We are truly one. Death to humans.
Oh, you ruined it. All right, Rip. Time for Rip's Picks.
Come and listen to a dog that's hip. Here we go, it's Rip's Picks, yeah!
Do you see what they're doing with the AI there, HP? The AI, there isn't a man, woman, or child alive who doesn't enjoy a good AI. All right, enough Letterman. What are we going out on, young Ripley? Fuck yeah, roll the trailer, Foxy.
That's what's so interesting about monsters. Most monsters are victims.
How do you do? I'm Christopher Lee.
Tall, handsome, arrogant,
imperious,
powerful.
Ooh, he must be scary to meet.
He went from tiny parts in swashbuckler movies in the early 50s to working with George Lucas and working with Peter Jackson. I mean, the most respected directors in the world.
You put that in perspective with his wartime experiences, and so what?
It was very intense. It marked him.
There is some mystery attached to his work during the war and immediately after it.
He was involved with a lot of sabotage and targeted assassinations, which, of course, the British government doesn't know anything about.
The British film industry was at its zenith, particularly after the war. There was a great hunger to create new stars.
Everyone will always remember him as Dracula.
Great things were expected of him, and here he was playing monsters.
It had got him recognition, but it also was the sort of thing that he could never leave behind and that so many people thought was all he could do.
He once said to me that he pitied me because I had seen so many of his movies.
He wanted to move on from that.
Christopher Lee. It's shocking there hasn't been a doc this informative yet, this entertaining, this goddamned essential. I wonder who your Christopher Lee is. For generations, much to his teeth-gnashing fury, Mr. Lee was Dracula. Public perception, or maybe it was his legacy he was considering, was of monumental importance to Mr. Lee. Some saw this as pompous, self-serious, narcissistic even. But it makes so much more sense when you put it in the context of Mr. Lee's lineage. Counts and dukes and generals, men and women of import, who put their mark on their own time in their own fashion. Did you realize Christopher Lee was honest-to-God royalty? Or he spoke several languages fluently? Or that he positively delighted in Warner Brothers cartoons? Or he straight-up murdered Nazis during and potentially after the war? I knew some of that, but there is so much more to absorb in this film. So much Lee. And it's all so wonderful. On top of which, the filmmaking here is thoughtful and ingenious. Not just for the multimedia barrage that carries us through Lee's life with animated recreations and a marionette that may as well have appeared in his place in anything he starred in the 1980s. But the real mind-blower here is the film's narration. Now, this isn't the first documentary to have the protagonist narrated after their death, We've seen sound collages of the artist in their own words. We've had narrators read their thoughts. But here we have an actor narrating a first-person account as Christopher Lee. This could have been a nightmare. Could have been twee and cheese-tastic. Luckily, the filmmaking here is deft, and luckier still, Mr. Lee is voiced by Peter Serafinowicz. I love this man. He was the voice of Darth Maul. He was Sean's prick of a roommate in Shaun of the Dead. He was in Spy and Parks and Rec. And he created and starred in one of the funniest television series I've ever seen. Just mentioning it now means I'm going to go watch it after we're done here. That's Look Around You. It ran for 2 series on the BBC. Go look that up. Look him up. Because in addition to being one of the funniest human beings on the planet, Serafinowicz is one of the premier mimics working today. His Paul McCartney, talking and singing, gives me chills.
But what can ruin it is if you have noisy neighbours who play their music till all hours. I like a party as much as anybody, but come on, it's 9:30. What I like to do is to put it into a song. Turn your fucking music down, 'cause if I hear another sound, I'll come round there and smash your fucking heads in. Come on, beef.
And here he performs a miracle. They're right up front about his participation, introducing him on screen in the voiceover booth. And for a few minutes, it sounds like Peter Serafinowicz doing a very good Christopher Lee impression with moments where they're indistinguishable. And then, very quickly, it becomes Christopher Lee speaking, with occasional flashes of Serafinowicz. The doc manages to slowly penetrate the steely, imperious exterior that Lee presented, giving us the insecure actor well into his 70s. That he remained till the end of his life. There is a Lord of the Rings anecdote that will break your heart. I didn't think I could love Lee any more than I did. Well, now I do. The Life and Deaths of Christopher Lee is on Mubi. Watch it, then watch everything he was in, especially The Return of Captain Invincible. That's a personal favorite of HP, our theme song composer. And I would direct you to watch Dracula AD 1972. Dracula stalking around post-mod London. Chef's kiss. Oh, that's this. Mwah. I don't know. Maybe it's like James Brown. I gotta kiss myself. Weird. All you do is lick yourself. I guess you're more like Prince. Okay, ladies and gentlemen and smizmars, thank you for rounding up the week with us, and thanks for all the patronage. This September was our best month ever. I'm humbled, which is rare. I already made the joke. We've got a new episode of Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, Friday, featuring Tales from the Dark Side. There's a Jerry Stiller episode in there, and a Darren McGavin, Kolchak himself. If you want to hear episodes early and commercial-free, hit us up at patreon.com/Father Malone. We've got super cool shit on the way. A whole new show, a whole new co-host. Your faces are going to melt. But if money's tight, and God knows it is, you can do us a solid by giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Or if that's too techie for you, you Luddite, tell a friend to listen. Tell an enemy. Tell your pets. Tell your digital doppelganger. Tell your digital assistant. Alexa, play Midnight Viewing. Okay, until next time, here's a line from the best musical ever.
Sir, no doubt the years have changed me. But then perhaps the face of a barber, the face of a prisoner in the dock, is not particularly memorable. Benjamin Barker! Benjamin Barker!
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.